So let's talk about adding integers, negative and positive numbers. First of all, we need to know that addition means putting more in, but it's important to know what it is we're putting into the mix. So looking at the signs in this problem, add negative 5 plus 3, it's important to see that this negative sign has to do with the sign of the value of 5. This positive is actually the operation of addition, and the 3 is positive because you don't see a negative in front of it. So this expression is negative 5 plus 3. So thinking of this as negative 5, if we look at it and think of it as 5 negatives, we'll have 5 negatives, and then we're going to put in 3 positives. So there's 1, 2, 3 positives. And so the key now is knowing that a negative and a positive will cancel each other out and make 0. So we'll have 0 here, 0 here, and 0 here. And that leaves us with 2 negatives. So negative 5 plus 3 is going to be equal to negative 2. The next problem, if we want to add negative 4 plus negative 2, again, this negative refers to the sign of that value of 4. This negative refers to the sign of that value of 2, and then the plus sign in the middle is actually the operation of addition. So what we're going to be doing is starting with 4 negatives and adding in 2 more negatives. So it would look something like this. We'll start with 4 negatives, and then we're going to put in 2 more negatives. And so when you put all those negatives in the mix, you're going to end up with more negatives. So your answer is going to be negative 6. So the result is negative 6. Again, next example, add 5 plus negative 6. In front of that 5, we don't see a sign, so we assume it's positive. This sign over here is the negative that belongs to the 6, so the 6 is negative, and then the addition is the operation. This plus sign is the operation. So in this case, we have 5 positives plus 6 negatives. So we have 5 positives, and then throw in 6 negatives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 negatives. And again, each positive and negative makes 0, so we have a bunch of zeros here, and we're left with 1 negative, or negative 1. So it's important to recognize, I know that numbers are going to get a lot bigger. Like as we can see in this example, we've got negative 28 plus positive 42. And I don't expect you to write out 28 negatives or 42 positives, but in your mind's eye, you can still see those 28 negatives. And if you have 42 positives, that means that your result, when you put these together, you've got a lot more positives in the mix, and these will go on, than you do negatives. So your result is going to be positive. I'll put the positive there. You don't have to write it, but I'll put the positive there just to make sure we understand. We're going to have a positive result. And how many more of these pluses are we going to have? Well, we're taking out 28 of the pluses here, right? So how many are we going to have left over? And the answer is just the difference of 42 and 28, which is 14. So using this trick with your mind's eye and adding in the negatives should help you to, first of all, decide what sign your result is going to be, and then figure out what the value is going to be.